So when it comes to the close, right? Coffee is for closers. I don't necessarily love the word close. I think more is you're explaining and educating people well, and you're making it make sense. So throughout my entire process, whether I initiate a phone call with a lead, knock on someone's door, my first interaction from the beginning to the very, very, very end, I want them to know and agree with me that this makes sense. My whole close and all these soft closes I use throughout the entire thing as I'm going page by page throughout the proposal, I'm going to ask them at the very end, hey, does that make sense? Okay, are there any questions about anything I've went over up to this point? No? Okay, great. The next step is this. So as you get through that, throughout your entire presentation, I've probably said, does that make sense? And they've agreed it makes sense 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Do you have any more questions? They don't have any more questions about that specific area. So I've answered all their questions on 10 different subjects and segments, right? By the end, it's just more of a formality. And so what I do by the end is I say, okay, now we're going to go over the most important part, which is the process from today moving forward till your system's installed and turned on. So the first thing today is we're going to make sure that the home qualifies. Now, for you to qualify, you have to be on the title of the home, and if there's financing involved, typically, just to keep it simple, normally it's 650 credit, right? As long as those two things check out, most people will qualify. So once we get through that, there's two sets of documents I'm going to send you. One is the installation work order. Now, I'm going to need you to really look at that, make sure I have all the equipment down there for you. That's going to be how many panels, what kind of battery, inverter, our specific internal warranties. I'm going to have you okay all of that. And then the next set of documents, which are super simple, they are a little bit longer, would be the finance agreement. Now, whether that's a loan or a lease, that's where I'm going to scroll back up, say, remember, your payment is this, and your remaining utility balance is that, right? Okay, that makes sense. Perfect. That's just reviewing those terms. Also, with that, I'm going to talk about truth in lending, right? If they're taking a loan out, you need to explain to them that, hey, you might be financing this for $30,000, but if you make every single minimum payment, it's going to be a little bit more than that. Remember, when you bought your house, you bought it for $400,000. But if you make every single minimum payment over 30 years, it's going to be more than that, right? Make sense? Cool. What I'm doing is I'm getting ahead of any snags that are going to come up as they start going through paperwork. Say once we get that part done, that's the easy part. Just get everything taken care of for you today. What happens after that is where we get a chance to earn your business, okay? Obviously, you've only had minimal interaction with us, and you can Google us, look us up online. Utility company websites, we're on 3 different ones, build that credibility there. I say, hey, from here forward, we're not going to add anything additional to your plate. Once we get today taken care of, our office is going to call you either later today or tomorrow and walk you through everything. Make sure I did my job right and I didn't promise you any like cruises or trips to Hawaii. Usually they get a good chuckle out of that. Then I walk them through the process. Okay, from today till you're installed and turned on, it might be 60 to 75 days. I didn't show up today with the panels on my back or in my truck ready to put them on. It is something that takes a process. Once you do the welcome call, we're going to schedule a time for one of our site surveyors to come out, and they're going to look at the roof, and they're going to look at the electrical panel, and they're going to make sure, kind of give that final stamp of okay, that we can accept this project. Are you still paying the electric company for power every single month? You're not only losing money, you're investing in someone else's future, not your own. Bright Home Energy has over 400 5-star reviews and over 100 5-star reviews on the BBB. That means real homeowners just like you are already making the switch with quality and peace of mind. We are the preferred solar installer for SolarEdge Technologies in Arizona. Not a title that was given, but a title that was earned through quality, structure, and peace of mind. As a NABCEP certified solar installer and an APS qualified technology installer, your solar installation with Bright Home Energy is not good, it's top tier. So the choice is yours. You can either keep paying your utility company every month, making them rich, or you can make the switch to solar and start investing in your future today. Once that has happened, we're going to send your system and your proposal to engineering department, and they're going to come up with a certified design for you. Now that design, okay, usually happens in about 2 or 3 weeks from now. Once we get that back, they're going to send you a copy. And that's where you need to say, like, hey, yes, speak now or forever hold your peace where the panels are going to go. Make sure that it's in accordance with what we talked about today. Once we get all that done, then it's more of a waiting game where we send it to the city, we send it to your HOA, we apply for you to the utility. At that point, other than a few emails and maybe some calls, we take care of everything from there. And our company policy is that you will not go more than 2 business weeks without hearing from us. And a lot of times I want to let you know that, hey, no news is good news. So if you're not hearing anything from us, that's usually a good sign that everything's moving forward just fine. If there's a problem or a question or something that needs to be signed or solved, we are going to let you know immediately, and you're going to hear from us in multiple ways. But throughout that process, that's the longest part. It could take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. Once we get all the approvals back, we'll get you on the install schedule. Once it comes to the actual install, most people are surprised to learn it only takes about a day to install a system and a battery, maybe 2 days at the most, depending on the size of the project. You don't have to be here for the install if you don't want to be, but it is our preference because it is your home. But we don't want you to have to take time off of work. We'll get it all installed for you, and then usually the following day or two, the city or the county will come out and inspect it. And then usually within 1 to 4 weeks, the utility will come out and put their final stamp of approval on it. So you can see the parts we can control are pretty quick, but some of it we are, leaving it to jurisdictions. So beginning to end from today until the system's installed and turned on, could be 60 to 75 days. If it's plus or minus a few weeks, don't freak out on us. We just want to set the right expectations. We'll control what we can control in a very timely manner, but you might be left to some of the city, the utility, and things like that where their time frames are out of our control. So any questions about that? Does that make sense? Okay, anything else for me? Perfect. Now, next step is to get you all qualified. Before I do that, usually the person with the best credit, we like to have them go first. So I'll get that information from you in just a second. But before I do that, is it too much to ask for a glass of water? And the reason why I've always went to the glass of water trick or refill my glass of water or have a water bottle is it a trick? Kind of. But what I've found more than anything is it breaks the tension, right? Because right now they're like, okay, yep, everything's made sense, no questions. They're not going to come out and say, okay, Tyler, let's just go on ahead and move forward. And I don't want to say, okay, are we moving forward? It's just, hey, any questions? Does that make sense? Cool. The next step is we got to get you qualified. While I'm doing that, I've been talking a lot. Do you mind if I ask for a glass of water? And I find every time it at least breaks the tension. Now, what normally happens is, 50, 60% of the time, they go get the glass of water and there's no other questions and I start filling out the credit application. The other 40 to 50% of the time is they walk over there and they think of a question or two or their concern comes out and I'm able to address it and resolve it because the tension has been lifted, right? It's not this awkward, are we doing this? Are we not doing this? What do you think? It's just moving the ball forward because I've answered all their questions. They've told me 10 or 15 times it makes sense. And so now let's just move the ball forward. Let's not make it awkward. Assume the sale in a polite, concerted way. If they have questions or concerns or something holding them back, they're going to say it, but now you've given them a reprieve of pressure to where they can just be human to human and move the ball from there. So if you're stuck with your closes, you feel like you're struggling in that weird in-between part, make sure it makes sense to them, make sure they're comfortable with it, and then go ahead, ask for a glass of water. Don't be thirsty.